All right, hello everybody. Today we are going to continue our journey in these compound lifts. We're going to do the overhead press today. Now, this is one that is probably one of the hardest one to add weight to out of all the different compound lifts. A difficult lift, but an important one. So this is our vertical push, where we're going to push up overhead. So, if you'd like, you can start with a body bar. Your gym may have weighted bars that start at maybe 9 pounds, 6 pounds even. If you'd like, you can even use just like a stick, um, like a broomstick, something like that, or you're just pushing this overhead with a very light weight. Get that movement pattern down and then work your way up to a little bit heavier weight. I'm going to start here with a 25-pound bar. That's what I have available here, and we want to have a rackable one. Some gyms will have bars that are shorter that you cannot rack in a squat rack. It's important to have this rackable one for the safety purposes. The reason we use all this equipment here is for safety. We want it to be as safe as possible, racking and unracking that. So I'll go over some of that safety features as we go along to make sure you're safe while racking and unracking. And then I will also, towards the end, go over a lot of different things that just about all of my clients have issues with when they start out, especially some of the pitfalls that you'll run into when doing this move. Um, that being said, let's get right into it. So, you want to have the bar racked in your squat rack, right around that shoulder, just underneath your shoulder height is where we're going to want this. When we grab onto the bar here, I like to say take that webbing between your thumb and your pointer finger, put it on the bar, push it outwards, and then you kind of feel that gnarl is about where most people are going to want to be. We'll adjust this once we unrack it, once we kind of know where your position is going to be after you unrack it. But to start with, let's just start there. And then we want to point our pointer fingers in, our thumbs down when doing this. And then we're going to really grab on tight to that bar. So death grip that bar. The elbows can be out right now. As you death grip it, you're going to roll underneath that bar. And now we're going to hold on really tight. We're going to squat that bar up. And now we have it unracked. I'm going to take a big step back or a couple little steps back just to make sure we're clear of that bar, of the rack, though, that the bar is clear of the rack. Now, from here, I want to make sure if you have a mirror in front of you, you can look in it and make sure that your elbows are right underneath your wrist. And that's what's going to dictate your position for how wide your hand grip is on this bar. Now, before I lift, I'm going to show you when we return the bar, we want to make sure both sides hit the rack. So I'm going to walk it all the way in. Both sides are going to hit. I don't even have to look at the other side because I felt it hit. And then it will come down and I cannot miss the rack that way. So there's no bonus for you looking at it and trying to get this just right. Okay, I got that one. And now I missed the other side. So each time you re-rack it all the way in, that J hook is there so that you can't miss. Once you push it all the way in, hit those uprights, and then you can't miss. All right. So we want to, again, with that bottom position, we're going to want it to look like this with those elbows right underneath our wrists. So a lot of the different movement patterns that we have in these compound lifts, we want those elbows right underneath your wrists. That's going to be the most efficient position for them. Now, I'm going to go ahead and unrack this again. So going through that steps, I'm going to put that webbing between my thumb and forefinger, point those together, and now death grip and not loosen that grip. So if I loosen that grip, what happens is it's really easy. I'll show you this next part. So I'm going to grab on there, unrack it. So now if I loosen my grip, it's really easy. And you can probably see from there that my grip has dropped back. So I don't want this position. I want those knuckles facing towards the ceiling. And getting that tight position here will kind of lock that in so that those knuckles will face towards the ceiling and not allow it to drop back. So from there, we want to keep those elbows as forward as we can and that bar towards our clavicle. So I even rather you rest that on your clavicle, the top of your chest, than let it drop this way. So we want it here to start with. Now our stance down here, which you might not be able to see, but we want that squat stance. So our most stable stance side to side is going to be that squat stance. So I want those heels right underneath your armpits, those toes pointed out around 30 degrees. All right, so again, from here, our gaze will be just over the horizon. So not down, but up. And we're going to really tighten up our quads and our abs, the front part of our body. And then we're going to try to drive this bar straight up. Allow yourself to go underneath the bar to push this bar up as high as you can. And then when we come back down, we're going to guide it back down with those elbows forward and return in that exact same position. So I'm going to drive it up, really commit at the top, is what I like to say. So how high can you get this? The higher it is, the more likely you're going to be in a great position at the top. So I bring it back down. I take a deep breath. So let's talk about the Valsalva maneuver a little bit. So we want to have a really stable core for this because we have a really long kinetic chain all the way from the floor all the way to the ceiling. Not the ceiling, but as high as I can get this bar is the kinetic chain. And so there's a lot of leakage in different joints. So that makes this move very difficult. So what we want to do is make our core as stable as possible. And that's going to be a deep breath here. Hold it before you push up and push up, having that core really solid so that you don't collapse into that tree trunk, right? So all that's really solid. Again, guiding it back down. So again, when you're done, you're going to walk it forward, get both those uprights, let it drop down into the J-hooks. So with that Valsalva maneuver, something to think about is potentially wearing a belt for this one. So you really want those abs engaged and your quads engaged. Sometimes what people will kind of tend towards when they fatigue is to bend the knees and throw the bar up. So we don't want that to happen. We already have squats and other movement patterns that we use to work our lower body. We really want our upper body to be doing this movement. And if I am squatting it down and throwing it up, then I don't know how much of my upper body is actually being used. It's just along for the ride as that bar flies up. So we don't want to do a push press. And to do that, we really make sure our quads are really engaged and our abs are engaged. You can use a belt for this. It's not necessary, but the belt is there to help you remember to really engage that core. So what we don't want to have happen is as you push up, that you crunch into that back, right? Like we don't want that lower back to be crunched into. And what that means is that that's happening, your abs have given up, right? They're not doing their job. So really engage those abs in the front as you push up to go to keep all of that really stable and to support that back. All right. So with this one, like I said, it's the hardest one to add more weight to. I'm going to go ahead and switch the bars out to a 45-pound bar. So I'm going to take this one off. Re-rack this bar. And this is the bar that you're probably going to see at most gyms on the rack. It's a 45-pound bar. Work your way up to this one. You can still use a 25-pound bar. Add the 2.5-pound weights on it, make it 30 pounds total, all the way up to 45 pounds. If your grip is better on that 25-pound bar, don't feel bad about adding even more weight. If you can add more weight, you can go 50 pounds, 60 pounds. I have a few clients that, are about 75 pounds if they're able to lift, and they still use that 25-pound bar just because they like that grip. If your hands are a little bit smaller, that's totally fine. You can use that bar and just weight that one. I'm going to show you when we weight this one, I'm just going to put 10 pounds on each side. And I usually cuff these also. And I'll show you a few reps like this. And this exercise, just like all of them, I like to start out with just 5 reps. And as you add some more weight and you start to plateau at that, there's no problem whatsoever in adding more reps in there, right? It's even okay. Say you make it to 70 pounds and you're like, this is really heavy. I have a really hard time getting 5 reps out of it. Drop it back down to, 60 pounds, do 8 reps, do 10 reps. You can do anywhere between 5 and 30 reps. If you're doing more than 30 reps, you really need to add more weight. If you can't do 5 reps, you really need to reduce the weight down some. So you get at least 5 reps. All right. So I'm going to do that same thing. Um, get that good grip on here, really tight. I kind of rotate under here, and then I am going to squat that bar up, keep it tight in, take that step back, keep my core really stable, take a deep breath, and then push up. Let's do one more. Bring it all the way back in for both sides. Bring it back down into those J hooks. All right. So, what a lot of people do that I need to correct all the time is we want to make sure that those elbows stay forward. As you come back down, we don't want those elbows to come down. It's a natural tendency that everybody wants to let those drop down. Don't let that happen. Really keep those engaged. Your back will strengthen up to be able to support that. Um, the other big thing to think about when doing this exercise that I see a lot of people not do is that when you go to the top, we want that commitment at the top to go as high as you can up there. A lot of the exercises that say don't think about how high the bar goes. Deadlift, I don't want you to think about how high or low the bar goes. Overhead press is that exception where we want to think about how high that can go. If I tell you, so a lot of times what people will do with this one when they get fatigued is they won't commit and the bar will be way too far forward and it actually makes it more difficult. So I'll show you what that looks like really quickly. No, I don't want you to do this, but it's not uncommon that I see this all the time. People push it up here, right? And I'm not over my center of gravity. This is hard to hold it up there. So again, what I want to have happen is this, where as straight up as I can get it, now it's over that center of gravity and I can rest here. I'm really committing up, shrugging the shoulders up. Again, guiding it back down with those elbows. Don't let this happen because then my triceps are fatiguing out right now. After you get it back here before I can press again. And I will fatigue out and now you're ever press again if I allow that to happen down there. All right. So the if I tell people with that the bar up overhead, right? If they're up in this position, if I tell them to go backwards in that, they will bring it back here and all of a sudden you're gonna lose your balance. Right. So don't think about how far forward or backwards the bar is. Just think about how high can you get it, and you will bind a good position forward or backwards right over that center of gravity. And what that means is your wrist over elbow over shoulders is what we're really thinking about here. All right. So that is the overhand press. We're gonna keep continuing on with this series to get through these big compound lifts. And my hope is to show you some supplementary lifts after this that really completes a full program with this. So let me know if you have any questions about it. Good luck, and you'll do great with it.